Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Turtwig sleeping plushie. It will take a couple hours, just so you're aware. You will need some green plush yarn. It does look blue on camera, but I swear it's green. You need some yellow for his feet, some brown for his top and shell, and some black. I use a black plush yarn and a black acrylic yarn for the embroidery and the rest of his shell. Let's get started. I use a 3.5mm hook, and obviously you're gonna need some stuffing. Magic ring. If you do not know how to make a magic ring, be sure to check out my last video because I show you the technique I am using for plush yarn. Usually you would want to use a brown acrylic instead of the black one I have. There's my magic ring. We are going to single crochet 4 all the way around. Now if you're like me and you do not have a stitch marker, I like to take my tail end of the yarn and use it as one. Now for this row, we're going to do 1 increase and 3 single crochets. An increase, if I can even do it, my goodness, is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. My projects, I do not like to move my stitch marker every time I'm done with a round. So every time you will see me crochet, the stitch marker is going to be the first stitch of every round I do. We are now going to do 1 increase and 4 single crochets. Now we are going to just single crochet into every stitch. Make sure you do not skip any stitches. Plush yarn, it's really hard to tell. But we are actually going to flip this inside out. Now my stitch marker is in here now. As you can see, it's on the inside. So I just pull it back out so I know when to stop. I'm just gonna snip that right off. That way it is out of my way. We are going to repeat the pattern of 1 increase, 1 stitch. We are going to just single crochet all the way around. You are going to repeat the pattern of 1 increase and 2 single crochets. We are going to single crochet all the way around. For the next round, we are going to do an increase and then 4 single crochets and repeat that all the way around. I'm sorry guys, I know this setup is not ideal. But as you can see, I do not move my stitch marker. I will always end on the stitch right next to it or right above it, depends on the row I'm working on. So here is where the pattern gets a little confusing. This is going to make the triangles of green and brown. So we are going to start with an increase. In 1 stitch in brown. We are going to grab our green yarn. As you can see, I have not finished this stitch. You're going to grab your green, pull it through, and put 1 stitch, go back through with your yarn, 1, 2, 3, increase, 1 stitch, grab your green, 1 stitch. I promise you this is the hardest part of this entire pattern. 1, 2, 3, increase, 1 half stitch is what I like to call these when you are color changing. 1 half stitch, 1, 2, 3, 1 increase, 1 stitch, back to green, and this will end with 3 single crochets. This first stitch is going to be different than the rest of the pattern, so just bear with me. I'm going to grab our green, do 2 increases in a row. Which will be like an increase and a half. Here, I'm going to grab our brown, do 3.5 stitches, grab our green, do 2 increases, which on the second increase just make it a half. Four single crochets in brown, and just continue this all the way around. We are now going to grab our green, pull it through, do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, and 3 single crochets. I'm a tangled mess at the moment. Go to brown, do 2 stitches, and repeat this pattern all the way around. Okay, I just cut and reattached my yarn. I'm mostly going to use green. 1, 2, 3, increase. This will be the last row of color changes. 4 single crochets in green, 1 stitch in brown. You can now cut off your brown yarn and fasten it off. This is what the inside of mine looks like. We are done using the brown for now. You made it through the hard part, and by fasten off, I just mean tie off, just so it doesn't come unraveled. Now it looks like a little ice cream cone. We are going to continue. We are going to do 6 single crochets in 1 increase. This is just a demonstration on how I got mine. I am using a slightly different pattern, but I think this one will look better than my original. Now we are going to do 1 increase and 10 stitches in between. We are going to do 1 increase and 9 single crochets. We are going to do 1 increase, 10 single crochets. We are going to do 1 increase and 11 single crochets. Now what I like to do is stuff this before I move any further, just because it is pretty far back there. You want this stuffed pretty firmly. I'm just gonna pull this, that way I don't lose my stitch. And I am going to stuff this. If your fingers don't fit in here, you can use the back of your hook. Make sure your stuffing is all the way up here. If it's lumpy, you can kind of massage it. Make sure it lays nicely in there. We are going to do 1 increase and 12 single crochets. Just take a piece of scrap yarn and pull it through. That way I know what row I'm on. If you were thinking your project looks a little crazy, that means you were doing it correctly. We are about halfway done with the head, and this is where the fun starts. 20, and in the next 24 stitches we are going to go in the back loop only. The front loop is the one closest to you, the back loop is the one further away. All 24 stitches are going to be in the back loop. This round's going to be a little different. We are just going to crochet these 20 single crochets. So once you get to where you started your back loops, stop. We will be working in the front loops of these back loops. So we are going to slip stitch into the first stitch, 1 decrease, which I just skip a stitch if it is fluffy yarn, because you can't see that hole too much when it is stuffed. I'm gonna single crochet 18 in the front loop only. Once you've got your 18 single crochets, we are gonna make 1 decrease chain 1, slip stitch into the first stitch. We are going to chain 1 and turn our work around. We are now going to skip this first stitch, which technically would be 2 stitches, but we do not count this chain stitch. So skip this first stitch. We are going to slip stitch, 1 decrease, single crochet into the next 14, make 1 decrease, slip stitch, skip 1 stitch, chain 1, and turn your work back around. We are going to again skip a stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch, decrease, single crochet 10, decrease, slip stitch, skip a stitch, and chain 1 and turn your work. Skip a stitch, slip stitch, decrease, single crochet 6, decrease, slip stitch, skip a stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, slip stitch, decrease, crochet 4, decrease, slip stitch, skip a stitch, chain 1 and turn, skip a stitch, decrease, slip stitch, single crochet 2, decrease, slip stitch, skip a stitch, chain 1, and turn your work. Now we are going to decrease, chain 1, turn your work, 1 decrease, and the beak is now complete. We are going to chain 1 and cut this yarn off. We are now going to use our yellow yarn. We are done with the green for now. You can remove your stitch markers. This is what it should be looking like. And now we are going to start with the yellow yarn. I like to just place my yarn somewhere back in here. We are going to just put it on here, just pull it through a random stitch, chain 1, pull it through the same stitch. We are going to single crochet all the way around using yellow. Mark out where we want these little loops to be on the side of his face. So I'm thinking about here. So I am just going to grab You can also use stitch markers, but I am just gonna grab a scrap piece of yarn. You can make them however big or however small you want. I'm just gonna pull that right through. That way it's the side of his face. Here is his beak. Here's where we started, somewhere in the back. Now once we get to our stitch marker, we are going to half double crochet. And much like the beak, once we get to the end of this row, we are going to stop here, chain one, and turn our work. You will see these random knots. It's just because my yarn is from the dollar store and it is all tied together. We are again gonna do half double crochets, but in the front loop only. Once you get to this last stitch, we are just going to single crochet into it, chain one, and turn our work. A half double crochet all the way across. Now you'll see I have one more stitch. We are going to ignore it, chain one, and turn our work. Half double crochet across. Again, ignoring this last stitch, chain one. Now we are going to double crochet. I will get a better setup soon, guys. I'm so sorry. Now that we have this circle-ish looking thing where we skipped all these stitches, we are going to simply single crochet into them, which for the doubles I do an increase. For the half doubles I just do one single crochet. You can check how big it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna make mine a little bit bigger. So I'm going to turn my work, single crochet back in here. This time we're gonna go all the way around. Now you want to fold your work in half. Make sure the peak of the beak is right there. And you're just gonna want to move your stitch marker over to the other side. Just make sure it is at least mostly even. Okay, now we are going to continue. We are going to single crochet again until we get to the other side. Once you are done, this is what it should be looking like. You have these two little flaps on both sides. So now for the next round, we can actually remove these stitch markers. You can see where you made your first initial stitch. We are going to pretend like these flaps don't even exist. So you're going to fold it in half, how it would lay on your plushie, and just put single crochets into it. I find it easier. You see these ripples coming up, if you crochet right back behind them. We will be sewing these on later. It's pretty simple to do, but I learned that you're going to want to stuff your plushie before you fill these. So that's how it should look. Now that you have done that, it should have a rough shape. And it is the same deal on the other side. You just want to fold it over, crochet back behind the ripple. Now for this row, I like doing 7 single crochets and 1 decrease all the way around, unless you are working with these. Do not make any decreases here yet. We are going to do 3 stitches, 1 decrease all the way around. 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. One stitch, 1 decrease. Now if yours is smaller, I do recommend stuffing. Recommend stuffing it now, because in the next round we are going to completely shut this. So chain 1 and leave a pretty long tail for sewing. I'm going to cut this and we are just going to pull straight up with our yarn. Pull that tight and I will stuff it and be right back. You want this stuffed pretty good, but not to where you can see stuffing coming out of your stitches. Now with the beak, you're going to want to really make sure that you pack some stuffing in here. So now you're going to need a darting needle, or a sewing needle, or a crochet needle. People call it a lot of different things. We're going to take our end that is still attached to our project and double knot it onto our needle. Now what I like to do is just go into the next stitch and loop it around. Next stitch and loop it around. If you are working with push yarn, I recommend tugging on this as you go, just so it doesn't snap. There we go. Sometimes you just have to fight with it. And once you get here, we are just going to put our needle up underneath that hole, pull it through the other way, pull through, once again straight up and down, pull through, tighten it. You can fix these lumps just by moving some stuffing around, but we will sew these on now. We are going to put our needle, hello kitty, through our project to one of these flaps. You want to make sure it's in the position you want, and we are just going to go around, over and under. Pull that tight, it'll give it a little volume. We are going to bring it to the other side. Make sure not to lose your needle. And just do the exact same thing. This tutorial is not exactly how you should do it. It is up for interpretation. You do whatever feels right to you. Pull that tight. A little volume on both sides. We're going to take our needle and stick it through a random stitch, pull through, and cut it right off. this should be your Turtwig. Next, we are going to do the leaves. Also this stitch marker, that is our end that I pulled out. You are just going to take your hook through a random stitch, wrap it around, and pull it into your project. Perfect. It's like it was never there. Now that we have our head complete, we are going to grab any old green yarn, just acrylic, and your plush yarn. If you do have a different color green plush yarn, go ahead and just use that. I am just using this along with it, so it is a slightly different color. Make your chain however long you want your leaves. In the next stitch, we are going to slip stitch. And try to, and if it's doing this, that is completely okay. We are going to single crochet into the next stitch. We are going to half double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet. Another double crochet. A half double crochet. A single crochet. And within your last couple stitches, we are just going to keep doing single crochets. We are going to chain one, turn our work, and again do the exact same thing but backwards. We are going to half double crochet, do 2 double crochets, half double, a single, and a slip stitch. This is what it should be looking like. Chain one and travel all the way down. You can use single crochets, you can use slip stitches, really doesn't matter. We are just going to go all the way down. That is one leaf. The other leaf does not have to be the exact same. It can be 2 different sizes. I think they're cuter that way. Cut this yarn, secure it, and I like to tie my ends together just for extra security. Now repeat, and I will meet you back to sew these on. We are going to sew our leaves on. I like to use the acrylic yarn for this. Just put it through your loop. And double knot it. We are going to decide where we want the leaves to go. Doesn't really matter where. Pull this through. Go up and around. go through the next stitch, go up and around, and the next stitch. Now pull this tight from both sides. We are going to take where we just pulled this out of, go into the very next stitch, and put it straight down to the other side. Again, make sure you pull it tight. We are going to turn our work. And untangle this mess, apparently. Now this leaf you can put on however you want. You can pull it inside out so it stays up. Doesn't really matter how you do it. What I like to do at this point is take my hook, go through the same exact stitch where this is coming out of, grab the end of your yarn, which my needle just came off. I recommend taking it off first. Cut this, make sure it's nice and tight, and tie like 4 knots in here. Bring our hook up in here and pull it straight through. Do the same with the ends of your leaf, just so it looks a little neater. Just pull it through. Make sure to get as close to that leaf as possible with the stitch you're going into. And now we got Turtwig with leaves. I will now show you how to do the eyes. What to loop this through. So you want a pretty long black piece of yarn. You are going to find where his little nose is. You can usually see your back loops. I go about 3 stitches above it. Pull it through all the way to the end of your yarn. Go through the exact same stitches again. Oh my goodness. I do it a couple times just to make it a little bit thicker. So do not pull this real tight. It'll scrunch up his nose and nobody wants that. So you can see where it just came out. I'm going to go back in the same one. Do about 6 or 7 across. This will put the yarn inside your plushie. 2 or 3 stitches up, and if this is uneven, which I am pretty sure it is, you can always move down 1, you can always move up 1, it really depends. I'm going to go around 4 or 5 times. And yes, this is taking some stuffing out. That is okay. Again, you can always pick at it. It'll come out. Now for the eyes, again, you want to go in the same stitch you came out of. I like to go up 1 stitch. We are going to go to here, about 3 stitches over, and for the top of the eye, we're going to go about 2 stitches up diagonally. I'm going to come back out this same loop we made, pull that through, same thing with this eye. Now you can stick your needle wherever so you can get to the other side. There is one eye complete. We're going to put our needle through the same stitch. Cut and tie it off. Here is your sleeping Turtwig's face. I know it is uneven, but who's gonna know? Okay. So there is the head done. We will now work on the shell and the feet and the tail, which is by far much easier than the head. So if you got this far, I'm very proud of you.